All right, welcome once again. What's up? What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel today. I'll be sharing 7 top plugins I use on practically every mix or track that I put out. But before I do that, what I need from you is that SLC. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and more importantly, hit the notifications bell to stay in touch with the new videos that we got up and coming. Okay, so this one is pretty simple. These 7 plugins that I use are integral to my sound and what I do in the studio each and every day. It's really molded and shaped my sound to be what it is, and I find these plugins extremely effective. So let's jump right into the first one. The first plugin that I use practically on every mix or track that I release is Logic's BITCRUSHER, and I use it for the distortion to be able to have certain instruments just clearly punch through those tiny laptop speakers or earbuds or AirPods, but anything that has tiny speakers that I want to ensure that things cut through. It could be obviously a kick because that's integral to our music, snares, even as far as percussion. But the thing with this plugin is I make sure it's on a 12-bit level of resolution, and I find having it there not only gives me the nice saturation / distortion that I want, but it doesn't add a lot of artifacts attached to the signal when I have it at that setting. So stock plugin, Logic's BITCRUSHER, absolutely something I use each and every time. And point number 2 is SOFTUBE'S Console 1. I am so deeply committed in using this plugin on each and every mix or track that I do, where it's, placed as an instance on every channel in my template. So every instrument has this plugin giving the signal some treatment, and so much so where the emulation, in my opinion, is quite accurate because I don't even need to touch like the compressor or EQ. I could just have a signal going through it, and it is coloring the signal with a little bit of warmth. The other thing I love about this plugin is the fact that you can have multiple desks within the same project. So for bass, you can have the default desk of the SSL 4000E, or you can then move over to having the British Class A desk, which mimics the Neve desk on, let's say, pads or a keyboard track. So that level of flexibility is great. You can also control the transients very well with this plugin, gain staging, and it comes with an EQ and compressor on top of that. And there's more. You could control the chain. So you could say, go with, have the signal first hit the transient shaper, then hit the EQ, then hit the compressor, or hit the compressor first, the transient shaper, and then EQ as a signal path. So it's really cool, pretty straightforward, easy to use, and it sounds great. And number 3 is the PULTEC. This is an amazing EQ. I use it all the time for kicks and snares. Sometimes I'll throw it on my master channel, or master chain rather, to warm things up for a quick DJ master. It's a really great EQ. The only thing about it is that it does emulate the actual piece of kit quite well, and it is an EQ. I've used it before at other studios where it does run quite hot. So you just need to do a little bit of gain staging when you're engaging it, but man, this thing does wonders for punching up kicks, snares. Even I would say you can do very well with this EQ on your drum bus as well, just to punch things up nicely. So the PULTEC is definitely a go-to for me in those instances, and I practically use it all the time. And number 4 is FabFilter's Pro Q Pro. I love this plugin simply because of what it does so accurately when it comes to just additional surgical EQing, and it doesn't take up a lot of CPU space as a result. It really works very well. I love to use this thing just to cut out any additional low end on my drum bus or snares or kicks for that matter if I want to get any rumbling out of those particular instruments. And it's also quite nice when you can engage the dynamic EQing component on it. And I think the notch EQ on it, or notch shape on this particular plugin, is hands down very well done. You don't hear any additional artifacts when you're engaging it, and it is quite accurate. It just hones in straight away and takes care of meddling problems like resonance, etc. And number 5, SOOTHE 2. I love this plugin specifically for dealing with harsh vocal signals. If it's a sample of a vocal I got from a very bad piece of vinyl, I'll engage that plugin and pair it up with UAD's Neve 33, I think it's 609 SE. Either way, we'll show a picture of it, but it just works quite well in controlling all of those naughty elements in a poorly recorded vocal, or removing some trouble areas in the vocal performance to make it the best performance possible. So check it out, SOOTHE 2, great plugin to go to for vocals. And number 6 is the SSL-G bus compressor. I use this all the time. A lot of people call it the glue for tracks. It does exactly that, but I love the punchiness you get from it without having to do too much. If you're just adjusting the attack and watching the threshold a bit, my needle on that thing is barely moving, but it makes a huge difference in the warmth and punchiness of the sound. So it works for me. I have it on my master chain all the time. And last but not least is SonarWorks Reference 4. Even though my room is acoustically treated and done very well, SonarWorks has just been a game changer for me, especially having it paired up with my Focal Alpha 80s in this room. My mixes are much more accurate, and I can hear things a lot more clearly. When I first started using the plugin, I had it at like a 75% mix, but now it's pretty much almost 100%, meaning I'm trusting the mixing decisions that come about as a result of having my sound card go through that and adjusting or recalibrating the speakers in this room to get, the best sound possible. And there you have it. Those are the 7 plugins that I use pretty much on every mix or track or release that I do. Let me know your thoughts on it. I usually join a conversation within 48 hours of posting these videos, so I'd love to hear what you got to say. And much love and respect to you. Peace.